Tesla may have just crossed one of the hardest milestones in autonomous driving. Full self-driving might already be running on public roads in Japan. And if Tesla can solve autonomy in Japan, it could mean the global Robotaxi rollout is closer than most investors realize. Hello everyone, Ken here. Today, we're going to break down several Tesla developments that I think are extremely important right now. One of them involves Japan, and it could quietly signal a major step forward for Tesla's full self-driving system. We'll talk about what appears to be FSD testing in Tokyo, why Tesla is changing some of its software terminology, what a surprising labor vote in Germany tells us about Tesla's culture, and how the Tesla Semi is quietly expanding into logistics fleets. But more importantly, I want to analyze what all of this might mean for Tesla's long-term strategy and for investors watching the company closely. Let's start with what I think is the biggest story. There has been an interesting post circulating online suggesting that Tesla's full self-driving system may have been tested on public roads in Tokyo. According to the post, the person experienced Tesla's FSD navigating Japanese streets smoothly. The comment suggested that the system is technically capable of operating in Japan and may now simply be waiting for regulatory approval. Now, to be clear, this doesn't mean FSD has officially launched in Japan. It hasn't. But if Tesla is already testing the system on Japanese roads, that is a very significant signal, because Japan is one of the most difficult driving environments in the world. Think about what driving in Japan looks like. Many roads are extremely narrow. Pedestrians and bicycles are everywhere. Intersections can be irregular and complex, and there are a lot of signs, signals, and unique road markings. Compared with the wide, structured roads you see in many parts of the United States, Japanese cities can feel chaotic. From the perspective of an AI system trying to understand the world in real time, Japan is a very challenging environment. So, if Tesla's neural networks are capable of handling Japanese urban streets, that tells us something important about the maturity of the technology. It suggests that Tesla's system is getting closer to real-world generalization, and that is exactly what autonomy needs. From a strategic perspective, Japan is also an interesting testing ground. Tesla doesn't sell nearly as many vehicles in Japan as it does in the United States or China. So, from a pure market standpoint, Japan isn't Tesla's biggest priority. But from an AI development standpoint, Japan could be extremely valuable. If Tesla can train its system to handle the complexity of cities like Tokyo or Osaka, then deploying the technology in many other global cities becomes much easier. In other words, Japan could act as a kind of stress test for Tesla's autonomous driving system. And if the system passes that test, it strengthens the case that Tesla's approach to autonomy can scale globally. However, autonomy is not just a technology challenge, it's also a regulatory challenge. And we saw another example of that recently in Tesla's software updates. Tesla has started adjusting the names of certain features. For example, the feature previously called Navigate on Autopilot has been renamed to Navigate on Auto Steer. And what Tesla used to call the FSD computer is now being referred to as the AI computer. At first glance, these might seem like small changes, but they actually reflect something important happening behind the scenes. These naming adjustments are partly a response to regulators, particularly in California. Authorities have argued that terms like autopilot or full self-driving could potentially create confusion about what the system can actually do. So Tesla has been making subtle changes to the language used in the software interface. The key point here is that the technology itself hasn't changed. What's changing is the way Tesla communicates about it. And this highlights something that investors should pay attention to. The rollout of autonomous driving will not only depend on technological progress, it will also depend on how Tesla navigates regulations across different regions. In many ways, the autonomy race is both a technical race and a regulatory race. Next, let's shift to a story coming out of Germany. At Tesla's Gigafactory Berlin, there was a recent election for worker representatives. Germany has a very strong tradition of labor unions in the auto industry. Companies like Volkswagen and BMW have powerful union influence inside their factories. But the result of this election was quite interesting. A worker-led group called Giga United received about 40% of the vote. Meanwhile, Germany's largest union, IG Metall, received around 31%. This means that a large portion of Tesla employees chose representation outside of the traditional union structure. Why does this matter? Because it reflects something unique about Tesla's culture. Traditional automakers in Europe tend to operate with more rigid structures and strong union involvement in management decisions. Tesla, on the other hand, tends to operate with a much faster, more flexible organizational style. Speed is a core part of Tesla's DNA, and based on the results of this vote, it appears that many employees inside Gigafactory Berlin are comfortable maintaining that kind of environment. From an investor's perspective, this is interesting. Tesla's competitive advantage is not just technology, it may also be organizational speed and the ability to move quickly compared with traditional automakers. Now, let's talk about Tesla Semi. A logistics company in California called Height Logistics has recently added Tesla semi-trucks to its fleet. The trucks are being used for what's called drayage operations. That means transporting cargo between ports and nearby distribution centers. This is actually one of the best use cases for electric trucks. These routes tend to be relatively short. Charging locations are predictable, and the trucks operate on consistent daily schedules. That makes electrification much easier compared with long-distance trucking. In my view, this is probably how Tesla Semi adoption will scale in the early stages. Instead of immediately replacing long-haul trucks across the country, we may see electric trucks first dominate areas like port logistics, warehouse transport, and regional distribution routes. These are environments where the economics of electric trucks can work extremely well. Once infrastructure and charging networks expand, the technology can gradually move into longer distance applications. So Tesla Semi may grow quietly at first, but it could become a very important part of Tesla's commercial vehicle business over time. One final point worth mentioning is Tesla's ranking in EV supply chain sustainability. Tesla recently ranked number 1 in an EV supply chain sustainability index for the second year in a row. This ranking evaluates automakers across more than 80 different metrics, including environmental impact, human rights considerations, and transparency in resource sourcing. Tesla scored particularly well in terms of battery supply chain disclosure. The company provides relatively detailed information about materials like lithium and nickel and how they are sourced. This may not sound like the most exciting headline, but it actually matters quite a lot for institutional investors. Many large funds now place significant emphasis on ESG criteria when allocating capital, and companies that demonstrate transparency and sustainability across their supply chains can benefit from stronger long-term investor support. So when we step back and look at all of these stories together, we start to see a broader picture of where Tesla is heading. We see progress in autonomous driving. We see Tesla navigating regulatory challenges. We see the company maintaining a fast and flexible organizational culture. We see early expansion of Tesla Semi in logistics fleets, and we see Tesla continuing to build credibility in supply chain transparency. All of these pieces contribute to Tesla's long-term strategy, but if there is one development I will be watching most closely right now, it's the progress of full self-driving. Because if Tesla's AI can truly handle complex environments like Japanese city streets, that could be a strong signal that the technology is approaching global readiness. And if that happens, the implications for robotaxi networks and autonomous mobility could be enormous. For long-term investors, that is the real story to watch. Alright, let's quickly check Tesla's stock price before we finish. Tesla shares are currently trading around $401 today, slightly down from the previous session. As always, short-term price movements come and go, but the long-term story of Tesla will likely be driven by technology, autonomy, and energy innovation. If you found today's analysis helpful, please consider leaving a like on the video. And if you're interested in Tesla, AI, and the future of technology, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I post new videos regularly breaking down Tesla news and what it means for investors. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Before we wrap up, let me take a moment to introduce myself. I drive a Tesla Model Y, and at home I've installed a Tesla Powerwall, so I actually charge my car with solar energy. I truly believe Tesla is shaping the future, and that's why I share the latest news and insights here on this channel. I'm from Japan, but I want to connect with Tesla fans all around the world. That's why I also create an English version of my videos. YouTube now lets you switch the audio into your own language, so you can enjoy it in whatever language you prefer. Most of all, I'd love to connect with Tesla fans everywhere so we can support Tesla together. I also share updates on X, so feel free to follow me there and let's connect. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to this channel. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.